The Purdue Boilermakers are coming off their bye week, getting ready for their November stretch run. It begins Saturday with a noon kickoff against the Iowa Hawkeyes in sold-out Ross-Ade Stadium. Our broadcast coverage of that one will start at 11 o'clock. 4 games to go on the season for Purdue, 5-3 overall, 3-2 right now in the Big Ten West, and 1 game out of first place behind the Fighting Illini of Illinois. Good evening, everybody. It is the Jeff Brohm Show. We're live at the Walk-Ons establishment here in the Purdue Memorial Union. We'll have the head coach with us. You can get your questions in at 888-246-2678. We're on Facebook tonight on the Purdue Athletics site, so you can let us know where you're watching and get your questions, and also let us know where you're watching us from tonight. Also, we're on Twitter on the Purdue football site as well there. Along with the head coach, we're going to talk to Branson Dean, our fifth-year senior defensive tackle from Indianapolis, and then we will go across the pond to get Jack Ansell from Australia. Our sophomore punter will be joining us a little bit later. When we come back, though, it is the Jeff Brohm Show, presented by the Rohrman Automotive Group on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
Tracy in motion. O'Connell with time. Touchdown, Purdue!
Jones in motion. Quickly to Charlie Jones. Scampers to the outside, heading to the pylon. The game now. O'Connell looking over the middle. Beautiful throw. Finds his man. Touchdown!
Flat so he can cut off the safety like that and make a play on the ball.
O'Connell to throw again. Sets his feet. Long ball. Jones wide open. Touchdown!
With his hands, turn and get upfield immediately.
Going quickly.
He's cutting after he starts from inside the tackle box.
O'Connell, what a drive that he has engineered, going for the corner of the end zone. It's a touchdown for Purdue. O'Connell surveying, touchdown catch by Durham.
Matchup-wise, today's game, it just makes that much more sense. This ends up being an angle route from your tight end.
Haven't seen 87 yet tonight. 3rd and goal, empty backfield. O'Connell over the middle, zips it towards the back of the end zone. That's caught for a touchdown by T.J. Sheffield. O'Connell on the slant, throws a dart. Jones keeps his feet. Jones to the end zone. Touchdown, Purdue. Important 3rd down here. And that's caught Sheffield. Sheffield spins free. Sheffield dives. Touchdown, Purdue. O'Connell will throw, and that's caught by Jones. Touchdown, Purdue. What a pass.
O'Connell on a rollout, looking back to his left. The tight end throw back to Payne Durham for the touchdown. Well executed.
Welcome back to the Jeff Brohm Show. We're live at Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where it's always game day with a taste of Louisiana. The Rohrman Automotive Group is supporting your Boilermakers as the presenting sponsor of the Jeff Brohm Show and proud partner of Purdue Athletics. Rohrman Automotive Group, boiler up and hammer down. We're joined by the head coach. Jeff Brohm is with us, coming off the practice field today on what was a beautiful day. We're kind of hoping the weather situation clears up. Right now, the forecast a little bit iffy for Saturday, but it wasn't earlier today. So if you believe that the weather can change and the weather forecast can change, we'll hope it will. But you have no control over that.
No, you don't. Today we even practiced the wet ball drill a little bit at the end of practice just to get ready for possible bad conditions on Saturday. But you just gotta make it work. I know our guys have worked hard. It's been a long week having the week off after a loss, and I think they're had a good day of practice today. We understand what's ahead. We've got a really tough opponent coming in that plays outstanding defense. They run the football. They've had a really big win this past week, and we've got our hands full. But I think our guys understand that that's why you play the game.
When you get these byes, especially later in the season, it seems like forever ago that Wisconsin game was, and it was only 10 days ago. But we talked before that game about the need to get off to a good start, try to take their crowd out of it, and it really just kind of flipped the script. And you got down 21-0 before you knew it. Battle to the end, but that's an awfully big rock to push up the hill and against a team like Wisconsin.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was not a good start, and it was just too hard to overcome against a really good football team that we've always had a tough time with. But gave him an easy score, threw an interception for a touchdown right there. Those were two things that we didn't want to happen. And then, missed a field goal driving down in there. And at the end of the half, it was not looking good. But our guys did play hard the second half. We played better. But we've got to do that the entire game. And, there's not a lot of margin for error. We've got to minimize the mistakes, really improve on just playing better as an overall team. We're going to need a total team effort to win this football game.
You had some good numbers again. It's not often that you lose a game when you have a rusher rush for 100 and a receiver catch for 100 and a passer throw for 300. Devin Mockabee has a third game in the month of October where he ran for 100 yards, and he continues to really push his status forward.
Well, you're correct. Yardage-wise, against a really good defense, we were able to do some good things, just not enough and not consistently enough and not play good enough as an overall team. And, we've had our moments throughout the season where one unit's played better than the other, and, we just got to work through it. We got to, eventually get to the point where, we're all coming ready to play. We're trying to execute at a high level. We understand that, you can't win every play, but you got to minimize the mistakes, minimize the big plays and the costly turnovers to give yourself a chance and keep the game close. So, like I said, our schedule has some very good opponents coming up, and we're going to have to play much more efficient in order to win.
Just curious what a head coach does on his bye week, especially on Saturday. How did you spend Saturday from about noon to midnight last week?
Well, I tell you, I'd probably take the losses as hard as anybody. And they're not fun. You just look back on all the things you could have done, what we could have done better, and different decisions you could have made, and you can kind of drive yourself nuts doing that. I think I've watched so much Iowa film, to be quite honest, I didn't really watch any football, and just kind of wanted to not do a whole lot. Got to watch my daughter play 2 basketball games. But, of course, when you get home, there's nothing more to do than to turn the TV on, so I had to watch a few games at the end, and you know what? A lot of people get to enjoy their Saturdays and be a part of those things. And, it's always obviously more fun when we win. And coming off a bye week when you lose, it's rough. So, you've got to use it as fuel to figure out a way to overcome it. And hopefully myself, our coaches, and our players work as hard as we can and just try to cut a loose come this next game day.
It does feel odd always, and especially when the bye comes a little bit later in the season when you're watching everybody else play, when you get into that Saturday routine and, you flip around and you realize, first of all, how many games there are every Saturday on television. But it is a little bit strange to just not have that game to work for and to do on a Saturday afternoon.
Well, if it wasn't for injuries, I'd want to play every week and just keep playing every week and keep competing and preparing for the next opponent and grinding your way through. But sometimes, these players, they need some off time and they need their body to heal and to get better, and you hope to get a few guys back and play. So every little thing matters, and every season's different, but hopefully we utilize the week as well as we could.
All right, this is the Jeff Brohm Show presented by the Rohrman Automotive Group on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
Second down and 1 at the 45. Play action. Here's O'Connell. Winds up. Sideline. Open receiver. Got him at the 25.
And he's just a true freshman.
1st and 15. O'Connell guns it over the middle, and it's caught by Charlie Jones. Chuck Sizzle does it again. Downing next to O'Connell in the backfield. Tracy in motion. O'Connell with time. Touchdown, Purdue!
And Zakee Wheatley takes a bit of a bad angle, and there's Charlie Jones.
O'Connell over the middle. Jones with another catch. Charlie Jones.
In motion. Quickly to Charlie Jones. Scampers to the outside. Heading to the pylon. Diving for it. Touchdown.
And make a play on the ball.
O'Connell to throw again. Sets his feet. Long ball. Jones wide open. Touchdown.
He's confident. He's taking his time.
3rd and 5. Over the middle. Jones. Bullseye. Charlie Jones wrapped up and dropped there.
Ball with his hands. Turn and get upfield immediately.
Going quickly.
Asking them to communicate and get them on their heels.
On 3rd and 4 towards the end zone. That's in for 6. Touchdown. Charlie Jones.
Throw it to a big body.
2nd down. Burton looking for the end zone. And it's bobbled and caught for a touchdown.
Actually translates in the pocket.
Purdue 2 out of 2 on third down. This is 3rd and 12. They go back to Jones, a back shoulder catch. O'Connell on the slant, throws a dart. Jones keeps his feet. Jones to the end zone. Touchdown, Purdue. O'Connell will throw, and that's caught by Jones. Touchdown, Purdue.
O'Connell hoists one. Jones has it bop around. I think he made an incredible catch.
Purdue Global is Purdue's accredited and affordable online solution for working adults. Persistence pays off at Purdue Global. Hello on Facebook, Hillsdale, Michigan checking in. Our friends down in Boonville, Indiana, Cumberland, Indiana, and Mooresville checking in as well. Again, follow us all season long here. We're on the next couple of Monday nights, and then the bucket week will be Tuesday. But we'll keep you posted. Next week, though, the regular time, Wednesday night for the Jeff Brohm Show at 6:05. The Matt Painter Show is on Monday nights starting at 6:05 throughout the basketball season, and we will have a quiz later. Let's start talking a little bit, Jeff, about those Iowa Hawkeyes. I've done a lot of prep work on the Hawkeyes this week, and their defensive numbers kind of scare you. This is a team that's giving up like 15 or 16 points a game, and they don't give a lot on the ground, and they don't give a lot in the air. They just don't give a lot, period.
No, and that's what they're known for. And Coach Parker, their defense coordinator, has been doing a long time. They're very good. They're very sound. Their fundamentals are off the charts. They play hard. And they make you earn everything. And, you know, the years we've been able to beat them, it's been about winning the turnover battle, not giving them the ball back. You know, they limit possessions because the offense is going to control it and run the football. And if you get behind, you know, it's a tough battle. It's just kind of like it was last week, a very similar team in that regard. So, you know, we've got to figure it out and just be very efficient in what we're doing. But these guys on defense have been outstanding. Every year, especially this year, and they've been mostly healthy. A lot of their starters they've had throughout the year are still playing, and they're doing a very good job.
They have the reigning Big Ten Defensive Back of the Year in Riley Moss, and I saw an interview with him earlier this week. When you played there in, I think it was, 2017, your first year, you kind of picked on him and got a few scores on him, and he said he used that as fuel going forward and really kind of changed his career path. And I know he's going to be excited to get back and try to beat the Boilermakers, something he hasn't been able to do very much in his career there.
Well, he's a very good corner. You know, last year he did not play against us. He was hurt, and that helped us. But he's very good. He's got a ton of experience. He can locate the ball. He's got really good ball skills. To be quite honest with you, their other corner is a Mr. Football, Mr. Basketball guy from the state of Iowa that's, in my opinion, just as good. I mean, a really good football player. And I just think this secondary, man, they guard guys. They read the quarterback. They're tough to get big plays on, and they're tough to run the ball on even while they're doing that. So it's just, you know, it presents challenges. But, you know, we've been working hard. It's just our guys got to go out there and compete and win a lot of one-on-one battles, and we've got to find ways to make plays and get some points.
Our phone number, 888-246-2678, and our friend Daryl is calling from Indianapolis. Go ahead, Daryl.
Hey, Coach, how's it going?
Good.
Tough loss, but I believe it was a team loss. We had team wins. That was a team loss because we had some opportunities on both sides of the ball. But, you know, I just wanted to kind of share something with you, something that I stole, a saying that you said years ago when you first came on to Purdue. I think it goes something to the effect, be where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there doing what you're supposed to do. And it seems to me that the offense is very capable of outscoring teams, but, you know, we have to sometimes – the defense has to kind of stick to those standards. And I was wondering, like, with the off week, with the bye week, were you guys able to really focus on, you know, some of the defensive opportunities that we have?
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of things to work on every week, and every week is different. I think, you know, our coaching staff and players are mature enough to man up and understand when we start to identify the problems and try to go through it that it's nothing personal. It's just that we got to try to figure out a way to fix it. So I think on defense, without question, we have not played to our standard in the secondary. It has definitely hurt us. I think we have good experienced players that can play better. I think we can coach better. I think we can put our players in a better position to get that done. So there's been a multitude of things we've worked on, not only schematically, communication-wise, you know, everything we can do to help our players play better and we've worked hard at it. So I anticipate us making improvements there. I think our D-line has played very hard throughout the year. We've got a lot of guys that we can rotate in there. That's been good. Our linebackers are playing hard. I don't think we're the most have the most depth or the most natural talent, but our guys play hard. We can count on them to go in there and try to hit and tackle. But we can play better, and we know that. And I think offensively, the turnovers have hurt us. And we've had quite a few turnovers in some of our games here. So we've got to figure out a way to fix that and make sure that we're not giving the other team another opportunity and eliminate one of ours. And I think special teams-wise, we've got to be more consistent on field goals, which, Mitch has been up and down at times, but he's a really good kicker. He just has lost a little confidence at times. So there's just a multitude of things. You've got to man up to it. It changes every week, and you hope to go out there and play your best game. So what you can't do is get stage fright and feel like, I got to be careful. I can't do this, can't do that, can't do this, and lose the aggression. And, these kids go through a lot. There's a lot of pressure on them. They work really hard. They want to win. It means a lot to them. And sometimes, that weighs on their mind. And they're either not going to cut it loose or they're just going to, not trust what they practice. And we have to do a good job of getting them to, as we get closer to the game, believe in themselves, understand that, hey, we put in the work, we put in the time. Now you got to just go cut it loose, and you got to play free. And yes, you want to concentrate and focus, but you may make a mistake or two. Let's just try to do the best job we can, play together, stick together, and hang in there to the end.
Coming to you from Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union. Back with more in 2 minutes. It's the Jeff Brohm Show, presented by Rohrman Automotive Group on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
Our Boilermakers have always been what unite us. To this hallowed field, we return each fall to be a part of something special. We've seen legends born and moments etched in time.
Wide open! Touchdown Purdue! Seth Morales! Holy Toledo!
Thomas steps away, Coleman fumble! They've got it! Beasley rushes free for the Purdue touchdown!
It's pandemonium, Coach. Hope the year.
Hope we have a whole lot more. It's a great win for Purdue.
For nearly a century, Ross-Ade Stadium has been the home of Purdue football. As we forge ahead, we have a rare opportunity to fortify the legacy of future generations of faithful Boilermakers. Together, we will guarantee the passion you have for the old gold and black will endure for years to come.
Let the carnage and the chaos continue.
How about them Boilers?
Boiler up, friends. The time is now.
It is better than Fog Elm. It is better than Cameron.
One of the toughest places in the Big Ten to come get a victory.
You ask any player who's played here.
Mackey is the loudest gym I've ever been in. Really, it's ridiculous. Like you can't hear anything.
Mackey Arena is literally the loudest place I've ever been in my life.
Yeah, I'll take that to the grave. Mackey Arena is the hardest place to play.
What can you say about this environment? The intro alone got me off my seat.
This place could absolutely blow its top.
This is the one venue where they have to have more of a read and react offense.
This atmosphere is as good as there is in America.
Maybe the best I've ever been in, rivals anything I've ever seen.
And the paint crew on both sides enjoy what should be the best atmosphere you will see.
Welcome back to the Jeff Brohm Show. We're live at Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union. Everyone needs a little playing time. Boilermakers and Hawkeyes at noon on Saturday. Our pregame coverage starts at 11. Kelly Kitchell and Pete Quinn join me for a Facebook Live segment right here on the Purdue Athletics Facebook page starting at 10:30 on Saturday morning. We do not have, by the way, a start time yet for the Illinois game. That one will not be determined until either Saturday night or Sunday morning, so it'll be like last week. We'll know the week before. Before we talk a little bit more about Iowa, when you have a regular week, your schedule and your preparation is so compressed, you probably don't have as much time to do self-scouting as you do during a bye week. Do you do more of that on your week off to see if there are any tendencies that you need to break?
Well, we do look at some printouts of everything every week just to see where we're at. And yes, of course, during the bye week, you're able to study that. You're able to peek at a couple of different teams in case somebody might be doing something that you just want to look at, and what are they doing, how are they doing, and how can it help. And I really think, we do have a staff that watches a lot of video, that tries to think of solutions, that tries to do their very best. And that's what you got to do. And it's just a constantly changing and evolving game. You definitely want to stick with your core principles and what you believe in, but every game there needs to be a little bit of a twist. And I think as I was talking to our defensive staff, one of our better games was Minnesota, and we had a little different twist going into that game. So I just think you have to be able to fine-tune what you're doing, but also have it just a little bit different twist going into every game that can possibly help you. And you have it in your pocket, you sprinkle it in. If it doesn't work real well, then you don't use it a lot. If it does, well, then you may use it more. So I just think everything matters. Coaching matters. Players matter. But everybody just got to do their part.
One more guy on the Iowa defense that we wanted to talk about is Jack Campbell, their middle linebacker, because he's only leading the Big Ten in tackles, and he's in the top 15 nationally, and he's a guy that can go sideline to sideline, and he's a difference maker on their defense.
Well, it seems like he's been there forever. He's just a really big young man who plays hard. He's always in the mix. He's got an eye for the ball. He can tackle. He can hit. He can run. Doesn't come off the field. So a lot of respect for a lot of the talent they have on the defense, but he's definitely their leader.
I watched their offense. I watched their game against Northwestern last week, and their offense has struggled, but it looked awfully good against the Wildcats. I think they had the ball 8 possessions in the game, and they scored 7 of the 8. Really, I think you used the word efficient earlier this week. They were very efficient, and they were able to both run and throw the ball.
Well, unfortunately, it was their best game, and when you're limiting the other team to only 8 possessions, that's not a good thing for the opponent. You'd like to get somewhere around that 12-plus range if you can. So they were doing exactly what they wanted. They were running the football. They were running the jet sweeps. They were running the play actions and the nakeds off of it. They were running downhill. I just think they got in a flow. Their quarterback played well. The receivers played well. I mean, it was a really good football game for them. Of course, their defense was outstanding. I think Northwestern scored on a 4th down once in the first half, and then the last drive of the game when the backups were in, they went down and scored. So that's why it's a tough opponent. And you just got to do our part, and we got to figure out a way to get a lead and take them out of all the things that they're really good at.
Can't talk too about the Hawkeyes without talking about both of their kickers. Their place kicker, who's a true freshman walk-on, is 11 of 12 this year, including a 54-yard field goal. And their punter, Torrey Taylor, might be the best in the Big Ten. He is phenomenally good at kicking the ball inside the 20-yard line.
Well, as we study tape and watch, there's a section we watch called Coming Out, and it's just kind of when you're backed up and having to run plays. And the cut-up of that is 3 times the size of any other team because they pin them in there very good. And I just think that's a sign of ball control offense, solid defense, and they've always been outstanding on special teams. And I just think that's their formula. It's tough to beat it. It causes other teams to beat themselves, and that's why they have a winning record and a very good season every year. And I think at this point, if you look at them, they've had a very tough schedule. They've had to play Ohio State and Michigan, which are 2 of the top teams in the country that no one has come close to. They lost by 3 to Illinois in the top 15, and they lost by 3 to an in-state rival. So this is a very good football team that's been battle-tested and played very good opponents. And, like I said, we're going to have to really step our game up this week.
All right, we're going to give the coach a little bit of a breather. When we come back, we'll be talking with Indianapolis native Branson Dean. It is the Jeff Brohm Show, presented by the Rohrman Automotive Group on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
At the 48, Clifford over the middle, high and picked. Jefferson with room. Can he get a block? Chris Jefferson still on the move with a lane. Jefferson, touchdown, Purdue!
And just airmails him. I mean, this ball is just way over his head. Tinsley can't even jump up there and try to bat it down or do anything. He can't try to disrupt Jefferson, and Jefferson catches it almost like a punt. Steps in front, but then he starts getting the blocking. And
on 2nd and 8, 4 receivers in the pattern. Screws is under heat. He's buried. Dropped quickly by Jack Sullivan. Is in the backfield with Screws. Gavin pumps it. Protection breaking down. Throws one into traffic. Deflected and picked off. Intercepted. Jamari Brown. Screws Looks for that pass. It's picked off. Intercepted, and this time Cam Allen will work his way all the way. Touchdown.
No holding, no DPI.
On 3rd and goal, Perry hit into traffic, deflected and intercepted. Here comes Jefferson again. Jefferson did this against Penn State. Jefferson still up and wrapped up at the 35-yard line.
Morgan fakes it to Potts. Here's the pressure from Sullivan, who gets his hand on the pass. It's tipped and it's picked off by the Boilermakers. Morgan, end zone, intercepted off the hands of Brown Stevens and into a waiting Cam Allen's hands. Michael Brown Stevens dropped a touchdown. Cam Allen picks it off, and Purdue's got it at the 20. Edge pressure, Morgan, intercepted. Picked off by Cam Allen, his second of the day. He's still going.
3rd and 6. Tagovailoa, another high snap, really, and intercepted. Picked off by Corey Trice. Brings it across midfield. There's a flag at the near side. Trice looking to take it back. And Tagovailoa goes down in the backfield.
3 timeouts, 5:41 to go until halftime. They fake it to Grant. Thompson rolling, now throwing, and it's intercepted. It's picked off. On the return, Clyde Washington. Thompson picks up 6. Nebraska moves the chains down 7. Now here's the chance, and into coverage, incomplete. Incomplete.
It's time for the Pro Boilers feature, where we look at how former Purdue student athletes are doing in their professional sports careers. Pro Boilers is presented by Indiana Kitchen Premium Pork Products. Get to know us at indianakitchen.com. Both our Pro Boilers and Indiana Kitchen are boiler made. Juwan Bentley had a big game for the Patriots last week. 3 tackles and an interception in New England's win over the Jets. Derek Barnes for the Detroit Lions had 4 tackles in the loss to Miami. In that same game, Raheem Mostert for the Dolphins ran it 14 times for 64 yards. Last night on Monday Night Football, David Bell with the Cleveland Browns had a couple of catches for 27 yards and also made a special teams tackle. And Rondale Moore with the Arizona Cardinals, 7 catches, 92 yards, including a 38-yard touchdown pass, as the Cardinals lost a heartbreaker to the Minnesota Vikings. Joined by Branson Dean, a 5th-year senior defensive tackle from Indianapolis. Talk about, I asked the coach what he does on the bye week. What did you do? How did you spend your bye week, and were you ready to take a week off of playing on Saturday?
I just kind of spent my bye week getting my body back together. I went to the chiropractor a little bit, got a couple massages, just kind of rested. Kind of use that as a time to reflect on what I've done in the first 8 games and look at film and try to get better from there. And to answer your question, yes, I was ready for a bye week. It's been tough. We've been battle tested. We played some really good opponents that took us to the complete end. So I think it was a good week off, and I think we got better from it.
Do you watch a lot of football on a Saturday when you're not playing, or do you try to get away from it?
Yeah, I watch a lot of football. I love to see like the college game day atmosphere. I like to see other teams getting after it. The amount of excitement those guys have is unmatched. So I like to see it all the time. You know, we don't never get to watch it.
Right.
So yeah, I like to see when I can. We watch a lot of football.
We were talking during the commercial break. You know, it was not a great day a couple of weeks ago in Madison, but that's really a fun place to play. And when they start jumping around after the 3rd quarter with jump around, where we are in the press box sways back and forth to a really scary point. It has to look awesome down there from on the field.
It is. It is. That's a great place to play. Those fans are really incredible. You kind of got to stay together as a road team going down there, because if you don't, you'll get that stuff overcome you.
Let's talk about your season and the fact that you're part of a really deep defensive line. You've been starting at that defensive tackle spot, but I think we've rolled as many as 12 players in one game at the defensive end line spots. What does that do for you in terms of keeping you fresh and allowing you to play at full speed?
It works wonders for me. We could get those guys in on early downs, give me a break to go in on third down or really important downs. I'm fresher in the second half. I'm fresh, ready to go, got fresh legs. We can rotate those guys, and they don't have any drop-off in their play. So it does wonder for us, me, LJ, and the other two starters, KJ and Jack. Those guys are really helpful in our play.
You play a different position than he did, but George Karlaftis left here as a first-round draft pick. What kinds of things were you able to pick up from him and some of the other players you've played with in your time at Purdue?
I think him and some of the other guys dropped a bunch of knowledge on me. Guys like Lorenzo Neal, Anthony Watts, George, of course. The preparation that they put into the game and different stuff that they go about right before a play is incredible. The way George thought about the game before every play, or he predicted what was going to happen on certain downs and certain distances. I think that was one of the greatest things that he left me with, because I use it in my game today, and I try to pass it on to the younger guys that come in, because I think without that, I wouldn't be as great of a player as I am. You know what I mean?
You're going to be playing a couple of teams in the next 2 weeks, in this week's opponent, Iowa, and next week's opponent, Illinois, that like to run the football. And I would think that as a defensive lineman, that really has to get you kind of excited about the challenge you've got coming up.
I think it'll be a fun game for both sides of the ball. I think these type of games is what you live for up front. I think our guys are well prepared, and we're really excited to see what's coming up the next 2 weeks. I think it'll be a fun time, and we'll be battle-tested to the very end.
You know, it's hard to believe that not only the season, but your Purdue career is coming to an end pretty soon. When you think back on your time here, your 5 years that you spent in the program, what are you going to take away from this program?
Don't take anything for granted. It goes just as fast as people says it does. But I think I've learned a lot. I'm prepared. It's scary though. It's scary because this is what you do your whole life, and going on to the real world after this is like, man, what am I going to do now? You know what I mean? So, but I think I'm prepared. I'm well prepared. Got a good degree, so I think I'm ready.
What is that degree in, by the way?
Industrial engineering technology.
Okay. So what do you do when football is done, and which hopefully is a long time from now?
Right. I think I want to go work in manufacturing, assembly lines, and production systems.
Branson, let's make this a November to remember. Good luck this week against the Hawkeyes, and let's finish this off with a flourish.
Appreciate you. Go Boilers.
All right. When we come back, we'll be talking with punter Jack Ansel. It's the Jeff Brohm Show, presented by the Rohrman Automotive Group on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
Tracy in motion. O'Connell with time. Touchdown, Purdue!
Jones in motion. Quickly to Charlie Jones. Scampers to the outside, heading to the pylon. The game now. O'Connell looking over the middle. Beautiful throw. Finds his man. Touchdown.
Flat so he can cut off the safety like that and make a play on the ball.
O'Connell to throw again. Sets his feet. Long ball. Jones wide open. Touchdown.
With his hands, turn and get upfield immediately.
Going quickly.
He's cutting after he starts from inside the tackle box.
O'Connell, what a drive that he has engineered, going for the corner of the end zone. It's a touchdown for Purdue. O'Connell surveying, a touchdown catch by Durham.
Matchup-wise, today's game, it just makes that much more sense. This ends up being an angle route from your tight end.
I haven't seen 87 yet tonight. 3rd and goal, empty backfield. O'Connell over the middle, zips it towards the back of the end zone. That's caught for a touchdown by T.J. Sheffield. O'Connell on the slant, throws a dart. Jones keeps his feet. Jones to the end zone. Touchdown, Purdue. Important 3rd down here. And that's caught Sheffield. Sheffield spins free. Sheffield dives. Touchdown, Purdue. O'Connell will throw, and that's caught by Jones. Touchdown, Purdue. What a pass.
O'Connell on a rollout, looking back to his left. The tight end throw back to Payne Durham for the touchdown. Well executed.
Welcome back to the Jeff Brohm Show. We're live at Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where it's always game day with a taste of Louisiana. The Rohrman Automotive Group is supporting your Boilermakers as the presenting sponsor of the Jeff Brohm Show and proud partner of Purdue Athletics. Rohrman Automotive Group, boiler up and hammer down. Well, our first guest was from about an hour away in Indianapolis. Our second guest had to come a little bit longer to get to campus. He is from Warrnambool, Australia. Punter Jack Ansell, where in the country is your hometown? If people have an idea of what Australia is shaped like, what is it near and where is it?
So it's near Melbourne. Melbourne's the capital city of my state, Victoria. We're right down the bottom on the coast, so we're in a nice little coastal nook of the state. Beautiful little holiday destination, so it's very nice.
Did you do any surfing growing up that close to the coast?
Look, I'll be honest, I don't think they make a wetsuit thick enough for the cold water down there. It's did a lot of swimming in the ocean, yeah, not a lot of surfing, but when I go up north to my uncle's house in Queensland, I'd surf a little bit.
Let's talk about your path here, Jack, because it seems like every team, not only in the Big Ten, but almost in the country, has a punter from Australia. Where did this all start, and how did you get on the train to get over here, or the plane, or whatever it was?
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, all of us are in a little fraternity, Pro Kick Australia. Sort of looking for the next chapter of my life and what I was going to do, and I was lucky enough to meet my girlfriend over here in the States, and to be honest, it started with how do I get there permanently. Turns out I could kick a footy, and I was looking to bridge the gap between how do I make it all happen. I knew there were some guys over here already punting in the States, and so I sort of looked it up, watched the Super Bowl. Mitch Wishnowsky played in it, and my mum actually suggested to me, she said, I reckon you could do that. So I looked it up, and yeah, sure enough, started the process about March of 2020, and 9 months later, I was on the phone to Purdue and over here in May.
So I'm going to take it then from before, 2020, you had never touched an American football. Is that correct?
Yeah, yep. Never touched one.
Now, you had played Australian rules football, or what did you do growing up?
Yeah, so Australian rules football is essentially we grow up kicking the football instead of going out into the backyard and playing catch with your dad. You know, you'd go out and kick the footy. So, I mean, the skills correlate pretty well, obviously punting, kicking. So, yeah, it's a no-brainer in the end.
So you've had to make adjustments to American football, but you've also had to make adjustments to America. What were the biggest changes for you coming over here?
Yeah, so I'd been to the States a couple of times, never been to the Midwest. I think the number one thing is probably the food. I'm pretty well fed every time I go out for a meal here, which is always good. I like to get out and try different bits and pieces of food around here, so that's always good. Definitely the food. Lifestyle's different. I mean, I'm trying to get acclimated still to the snow and the negative temperatures. That's pretty unfortunate. But, yeah, getting used to it.
Let me flip back, though, to the other side. When people hear that you're from Australia, what are the biggest misconceptions that they have about you in particular or Australians in general?
That's a good one. Biggest thing's probably rugby. Everyone assumes rugby, I'm a rugby player. That's not the case. In the southern states, we play AFL, Australian rules. Rugby's more of a New South Wales, Queensland thing. It's a northern states thing. So yeah, I've never played a down of rugby in my life, but everyone assumes I'm a rugby player. At this point, I just say, yeah, I played rugby.
I do have to ask, because you're from Australia, and we've heard it in a famous Men at Work song, Vegemite. Is that something that every Australian grows up eating, and is it an acquired taste?
Absolutely. It is definitely an acquired taste. A lot of my teammates have told me that anyway. I did bring a couple of jars in when I got here, and nobody wanted any of it.
They're still here.
They smelled it, they saw it, they said no, and that's fine. It's more for me. My mum, who's actually here tonight, she bought me over a couple of jars of Vegemite, so good on her.
So is she here for the week, or how long has she been
here? She's here for 3 weeks. Yeah, it took her about a week to get here. So
welcome, welcome to America. We're hoping to have good weather. Now, we were talking with Coach Brohm before the show. The weather forecast has changed a little bit for Saturday. We might have a little bit of wind and rain. How does that affect you? Certainly, well, it affects passing game, but it affects the kickers as well. How will you adjust to that, and how do you prepare for it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a big thing for me is actually not looking at the forecast going into the game. I think a lot of guys psych themselves out with the conditions. I think I did that to myself personally a lot last year. So I just go into it, turn up pre-game, feel out the conditions, see what's happening, and adjust in real time instead of being anxious about it all week. I think that's the best way to go about it.
Well, Jack, certainly your sophomore year has been a big jump over the freshman year. It seems that the acclimation is going well, and we hope that trajectory continues, and we can see you punting not only on Saturdays here, but in a few years, we're punting on Sundays as well.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So good luck, and hello again to Mom. Great to have you here with us.
Great. Thanks, Tim. Thanks for having me.
All right, we're going to be back with the head coach when we come back. It is the Jeff Brohm Show presented by the Rohrman Automotive Group on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
Second down and 1 at the 45. Play action. Here's O'Connell. Winds up. Sideline. Open receiver. Got him at the 25.
And he's just a true freshman.
1st and 15. O'Connell guns it over the middle, and it's caught by Charlie Jones. Chuck Sizzle does it again. Downing next to O'Connell in the backfield. Tracy in motion. O'Connell with time. Touchdown, Purdue!
And Zakee Wheatley takes a bit of a bad angle, and there's Charlie Jones.
O'Connell over the middle. Jones with another catch. Charlie Jones
is in motion. Quickly to Charlie Jones. Scampers to the outside, heading to the pylon. Diving for it, touchdown.
And make a play on the ball.
O'Connell to throw again. Sets his feet, long ball. Jones wide open, touchdown.
He's confident, he's taking his time.
3rd and 5. Over the middle, Jones, bullseye. Charlie Jones wrapped up and dropped there.
Ball with his hands, turn and get upfield immediately.
Going quickly.
Asking them to communicate and get them on their heels.
On 3rd and 4, towards the end zone. That's in for 6. Touchdown, Charlie Jones.
Throw it to a big body.
On 2nd down, Burton looking for the end zone, and it's bobbled and caught for a touchdown.
Actually translates in the pocket.
Purdue 2 out of 2 on 3rd down. This is 3rd and 12. They go back to Jones, a back shoulder catch. O'Connell on the slant, throws a dart. Jones keeps his feet. Jones to the end zone. Touchdown, Purdue. O'Connell will throw, and that's caught by Jones. Touchdown, Purdue.
O'Connell hoists one. Jones has it bop around. I think he made an incredible catch.
Joe, let's do a little catching up here on Facebook. We've got somebody watching us from Nashville, Tennessee, Murrieta, California, South Bend, Indiana, down in Phoenix, Arizona. And we'll get to a couple more here before the next break. The coach is back with us. Last year, Jack Ansel at times struggled to have consistency, but we've seen a more consistent punter this year, and I think he's shown us the ability that he has kicking the ball down the field. He's been a very consistent punter for you from day one this season.
Well, he's done a really good job. He works very hard at perfecting his craft. He cares a lot. You know, he's one of those guys, he's very hard on himself if things aren't going the way he wanted, and I think sometimes last year he was pressing a little bit because what we saw in practice was a strong leg, and he could really put it out there. It was pretty consistent in practice, and I think this year he's definitely, developed more confidence when he takes the field, and he understands that we need him to perform well. It's a big part of the game, but he's done a really good job.
Jeff, there's no secret that a big storyline for the game coming in this week is the return, I guess, the first-time facing of Tyrone Tracy and Charlie Jones against their former teammates. And again, in your press conference earlier this week, you mentioned the fact that with more and more players going into the portal every year, you're going to see this happen more and more. But it's something that I'm sure is on their minds, and I'm sure it's on their former teammates' minds this week.
I would say so a little bit. Like I said earlier, I don't think it's a huge deal. You're going to see it happen more and more, and I think both those young men care a lot about this team they're on. They care a lot about their former teammates, so it had nothing to do with, in my opinion, their personal experience. It just, I think they just wanted to try something different and, maybe be an offense that throws the ball a little bit more where they can showcase what they're all about. But they both work really hard, and they say all the right things. They put in work. We're lucky to have them on our team, but I think they'll go out there and play hard. And of course, they want to, do well not only in front of our fans, but also, when they play their former team.
I mentioned earlier in the show that Devin Mockabee has run for more than 100 yards 3 times this year. And anytime you talk about a running back success, you have to talk about his offensive line success. And you look at the changes this group has made, and it's down to basically 6 guys that you're trying to rotate in there. But for the most part, even though you throw the ball a lot, they've kept Aiden O'Connell pretty clean. Talk about how you think the offensive line has performed this year as a unit.
Well, I think we've worked hard to improve in every aspect, not only in our work ethic and how we're performing, but getting guys ready to play and understanding what it's going to take to play, a high level of football. And, those guys take a lot of blame when things aren't going well, when a lot of times it's not all their fault. I mean, these guys play hard. They do all the dirty work. They have to hit people and bang against people and play injured and, never get to touch the ball and never get anything written about them normally unless things aren't going well. But, I think we've developed more balance. Without question, Devin has ran hard and done a good job, and some of our other running backs are doing some good things as well. But our offensive line has really performed very well. And, we want to keep those guys healthy, continue to try to improve upon that. And like I said, I think, to win as a team, it takes all three components. And, you can't really sit there and say one unit has to get it all done. It's not going to happen. Like, all three segments have to do their part and perform at a high level in order to win against good football teams. So I just think it's something you strive for, you work hard at, but our offensive line definitely puts in a lot of hard work, and we're proud of them.
You mentioned the offensive line a lot of times doesn't get any notoriety unless a flag comes down for holding or something illegal. Another guy that never gets notoriety because he does his job so well is Nick Zucchino, but Nick recovered a fumble for you on Saturday a week ago against Wisconsin, and I think that showed the fact that your team was still hustling even though they're on the short side of the score at that point.
Well, they were, and I just think that's what you got to get your team to do and believe that they need to do is you got to play hard, you got to play the entire game. You can't worry about the scoreboard, you can't get down on yourself, you can't get down on your teammates. You got to just play and push yourself to perform at the highest level. And we challenge our guys every week. Every week, we say, look, it doesn't matter whether you won or lost the week before. You've got to play your best football game coming up. I mean, no one cares what you did last week, what you did last year. They want to see what can you do now. And if you don't, believe in yourself and play confident and cut it loose, you're wasting time and you're not going to win. So I just think you've got to have the perfect balance of, identifying problems and issues, trying to fix them, but yet as you get close to the game, you got to have your players believing that they can go do it and accomplish something that is not easy. And I just think we got a good group of guys that understands, it's going to take a lot of, great effort in order to win.
All right, final segment of the Jeff Brohm Show presented by the Rohrman Automotive Group is coming up on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
Our Boilermakers have always been what unite us. To this hallowed field, we return each fall to be a part of something special. We've seen legends born and moments etched in time.
Wide open! Got it! Touchdown Purdue! Seth Morales! Holy Toledo! Thomas steps away, Coleman fumble! They've got it! Beasley rushes free for the Purdue touchdown!
It's pandemonium, Coach! Hope for you!
Hope we have a whole lot more of these. It's a great win for Purdue.
For nearly a century, Rohrman Stadium has been the home of Purdue football. As we forge ahead, we have a rare opportunity to fortify the legacy of future generations of faithful Boilermakers. Together, we will guarantee the passion you have for the old gold and black will endure for years to come.
Let the carnage and the chaos continue. How about the Boilermakers?
Boiler up, friends. The time is now.
It is better than Fog Out. It is better than Cameron.
One of the toughest places in the Big Ten to come get a victory.
You ask any player who's played here.
Mackey is the loudest gym I've ever been in. Really, it's ridiculous. Like you can't hear anything.
Mackey Arena, it's literally the loudest place I've ever been in my life.
Yeah, I'll take that to the grave. Mackey Arena is the hardest place to play.
What can you say about this environment? The intro alone got me off my seat.
This place could absolutely blow its top.
This is the one venue where they have to have more of a read and react offense.
This atmosphere is as good as there is in America.
Maybe the best I've ever been in, rivals anything I've ever seen.
And the paint crew on both sides enjoy what should be the best atmosphere you will see.
The 2022 Purdue football season is presented by Purdue Global. Purdue Global is Purdue's accredited and affordable online solution for working adults. Persistence pays off at Purdue Global. Hello to Platte City, Missouri, Swamico, Wisconsin, Suwanee, Georgia, that's the Durham family, and Fort Wayne. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Again, we're back here next Wednesday night, back to our normal time and normal place. You've got a big one coming up, and I think you've again hit it earlier this week that everybody can look at the standings. Everybody knows where everybody is in the standings, but if you don't play it one game at a time, then the standings don't matter because the games become less meaningless if you don't take care of business.
Well, every week matters, and I know fans and people want to look at where teams stand and those things, but there's 4 games left. There's a lot of season left to play. There's a lot of good teams on our schedule. A lot of things can happen, and the best thing you can do is not get consumed and worried about anything other than just trying to win the next game. And that's how college football works, and you've got to have a team that's mature enough to be able to handle every week the ups and downs of the season. Like I said, get their confidence up every week when they play to go out there and try to have their best performance. But, we'll have our hands full this week. Iowa's a very good football team. They can beat anybody that they play at any time. And if you don't play well, they can beat you bad because they're going to control the ball and they're going to play great defense. So we're going to have to play very, very well.
I know you personally love these noon kickoffs because we can get right up and play. Hopefully the students will come out early as they have. You really appreciate what the Ross-Ade Brigade has done when you go to Wisconsin and you see their students still filing in the middle of the second quarter in a game that kicked off at 2:30 local time.
Well, without question, the Ross-Ade Brigade does everything and more than we ask for. They're here at our show. They show up at the stands. They cheer. They're ready to go. They're doing their part to help our team win. You know what? Our players see it. I mean, you come on the field, and there's about 5 full sections completely full. They're having a good time. That are into the game, wanting to win. So our players understand that. I think they work hard. They know that there's a lot of people that believe in them, that want to experience a winning Saturday and have fun when the game's over and be able to razz their buddies and whoever else they know from the other school, and that's part of college football. So we want to do our part, and we've had some special moments over the years. We want to try to continue to ante up every time we step on the field, and I think anytime you get a chance to play Iowa, you got a chance to ante up by finding a way to win.
Well, regardless of what the weather is going to be on Saturday, I know that crowd's going to be excited and ready to go. Good luck against the Hawkeyes this week.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks to our on-site engineer tonight, Wes Scott. Our producer back at our Learfield studios is Jacob Smith. Our video for both Twitter and Facebook provided tonight by Hunter Massengill. Again, the Boilermakers taking on the Iowa Hawkeyes. It'll kick off at noon Saturday in Ross-Ade Stadium. Our pregame show begins at 11. We'll have our Facebook Live segment on the Purdue Athletics Facebook site at 10:30. Again, next week we've got the Matt Painter Show on Monday night at 6:05, and then we'll be right back here on Wednesday night, the normal night, for the Jeff Brohm Show right here from Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union. For the head coach and for Branson Dean and Jack Ansel, this is Tim Newton. We'll see you Saturday at Ross-Ade Stadium. Should be a great day for football. Until then, boiler up and good night, everybody.